All right, aloha, Tulsi Kratz and Bernie Kratz and other Kratz, whoever you are. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dave, and I am the radical independent. I still, of course, support Tulsi Gabbard. We've rebranded, and of course, I've lost viewers and subscribers in the process. I knew. Look, you can't. I'm not Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, got the shirt on, by the way. So. And I'm not being paid by Tulsi Gabbard, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit at some point, too, how I'm a bit surprised that nobody from Team Tulsi has reached out to yours truly. I know that there are some indirect people who say, hey, give me a call, and I know this person and that person, but until I get, a message. It's easy to message me. I'm over on Twitter. I fixed the link. I am the Radical Independent on Twitter, actually using my actual name, which is a scary thing, but, it is what it is. I want to talk today about the Bernie Sanders wage thing. Not the fact that he wants $15 an hour wages, but the fact that he really stepped in it with his own campaign staff not getting the $15 an hour. Now, it's a big organization. The organization boasts of over 1 million volunteers. Volunteer means you're not getting paid, and I'm assuming there are staffers who are getting paid, and I was told they were getting paid like $12 an hour. Bernie, I believe, at one point actually put out a statement saying that, hey, if you don't like it, go work for someone else's campaign. And, look, Bernie Sanders really, there is a problem with his image, and there's no question that in politics, the way you're perceived, the way you handle yourself, makes a big difference. People will warm up to you if you're a warm person. That's why I love Tulsi Gabbard, because she can be tough, but she can also be warm and sincere, and she has a huge advantage being an attractive woman, a younger attractive woman. She's easier on the eyes than Bernie Sanders is. Just putting it out there. I know that's kind of Captain Obvious material there, but all of these things, and you've got Bernie out there who wasn't paying his staff $15 an hour. So his staff started to protest. Now, I'm sorry, this one is going to go right all the way to the general election. If Bernie Sanders becomes the nominee for the Democratic Party, he will be haunted by this right up until the right until the presidential election itself. He may be haunted by it at the Democratic convention as well, where Joe Biden again looks to get support from people who are like, this didn't work, or gee, he's not even paying his staff that much. And then he gave, I've seen conservatives do these videos where he gave his staff a lesson in free market economics. Oh my, because then he had to cut staff to accommodate the $15 an hour. And this is what all of the big corporations say they're going to do. McDonald's, if you start paying them $15 an hour, they're going to go with kiosks and pay fewer employees. They might pay like the people cooking the food, $15 and the management and so forth, but they're not going to pay the entire staff. They'll eliminate positions. And then you've got the CBO scoring this whole thing, saying that you'd lose about 1.5 million jobs. Now, I don't know if the CBO is right or wrong. They've been right about some things, but very wrong about others. So you take what they say maybe with a grain of salt, but it's out there. It's in the narrative. I know people are talking about Robert Mueller again today. Oh boy. But I'm talking issues, because if this doesn't work, then we need to find another way around this. In other words, if the $15 per hour wage idea isn't feasible, then there needs to be some type of compromise. You have to look at each job. What type of job is it? Are you eliminating entry-level jobs for kids who are like 16, 17, wanting to get their first job. These are arguments that conservatives make all the time, libertarians and so forth. I tend to almost agree with it. I do think people need a living wage, but is that because the cost of living is so high? And are there ways to bring down the cost of living? Is the banking industry really responsible for all of the sky-high rents and just the cost of doing business in the world? I don't know. I don't know. Those are tough questions. But this $15 an hour thing really, it may help Tulsi Gabbard because she's had this lean, mean staff. In fact, Tulsi got a bunch of crap early on in the campaign. People were saying, well, you don't have too many paid campaign staffers. And she responded, well, we're running a lean, mean campaign. She's kind of on track to hit the 130,000 donors. I don't know when the deadline is, but the debate is not until September, the third debate. And I'm assuming that she's going to get a nice bump in support after the second debate. And I'm sure she's going to do what she did in the first debate, and that is cause problems for the establishment, which is always great for me to see. But this Bernie wage thing, and the other thing that I've noticed, and I haven't been spending a lot of time on progressive media, but progressive media, they're talking about other things. It's as if when conservatives do stupid things, the conservatives tend to talk about other things. Well, Trump really didn't mean what he said, and these are the things that we see on both sides of the political divide. You cover for your candidate, and you make excuses, and you pretend what he said didn't matter, but look, real people are watching. Yeah, but I want to root for a team, but if my team screws up, I'm going to be honest about it. And maybe I don't support that team anymore if they refuse to admit their mistakes. If Bernie Sanders is using free market economics in order to run his campaign, that's kind of a breaking news story, people. There's no way around that for people who want this laundry list of stuff, okay? And I'm not saying that we can't do it. I'm saying that we might have to be a little bit more selective in how we do it rather than apply it to everyone. Somebody made a really good point. Some rich, billionaire is going to get free health care. Why does a rich billionaire need to get free health care? Let's save that money and give it to somebody else, or just save the money in general. Let him pay for his own health care. And most of the candidates, Tulsi Gabbard included, are not for abolishing all private health insurance because, again, that was the problem with Obamacare, is that if people didn't want to be on the exchanges, you weren't allowing them not to be on the exchanges. And that, to me, that's not freedom. That's not freedom of choice. That's government coercion and so forth. And, again, you're going to get cries of socialism and all this stuff. You're going to get it. You're going to hear it from Donald Trump and conservative media, which, have pounced on the Bernie thing. Absolutely pounced on it. And they're having fun with it. And quite honestly, I don't blame them because this was, you could see this one coming, and somebody should have said, hey, Bernie, you keep advocating for this. Some people within your own ranks might start to say, hey, well, you're not paying us $15 an hour. And for the rest of the country, independents, sane people who are analyzing the data are going to say, okay, this guy is advocating for this, but he's not even willing to do it for his own staff. These are the same people, by the way, that get logically ticked off when somebody who is trying to tell someone else to cut down their carbon footprint, and then they get on, a Learjet or whatever, and they fly all over the world. You're thinking, okay, well, that's not helping the situation. And I get it. That's how we travel right now. And that would be the excuse is, hey, I don't have really any other alternative, and you won't. Banning airplanes, you need to think some of these things through. You're talking about banning airplanes. Maybe it is the only thing we can do to stop climate change. We won't be able to visit other continents. We won't be able to have the quality of life that we've enjoyed for decades now. And there are going to be a lot of people that push back against that. So you have to have a game plan. And Bernie did not plan well on this. And I think this helps Tulsi Gabbard. Unfortunately, it also helps Joe Biden. It's going to help all of your alternative candidates like Elizabeth Warren, people who are, they're lurking and the media keeps propping them up every day. Oh, you need to hear what Kamala Harris said about this. And then what are progressives doing out there? Well, did you hear what Kamala Harris said about this? Well, who cares what Kamala Harris said about this? Focus on policies. Focus on what Bernie wants to do, maybe minus the wage thing right now. Focus on Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, she needs all the help she can get because she's really getting very little coverage overall. And she really is the best candidate. Not even close. She is the best candidate from either major political party right now. And she's got my vote until either she gets to the presidency or she's eliminated from contention. I'm hoping the former and not the latter. I am here doing this channel, though, as the Radical Independent moving forward. And I will be talking about a lot of other issues. And if Tulsi does, unfortunately, not get to the presidency, we're going to really open up this channel and talk about a lot of sort of not middle ground issues, but independent issues where people can come together and say, I see your point of view. Let's try to work together. Let's not be tribal. Let's not accuse each other of things that have nothing to do with helping people improve their lives and make their quality of life better, because that's what this is about. So, and it's not just about defeating Donald Trump. I know there are people who wake up in the morning and their only goal in life is to see Donald Trump perp walked out of the White House in handcuffs and then taken away. No, sorry, that's not good for the country. The Nixon thing wasn't good for the country. I mean, you can go back through time when presidents were shot. JFK thing was not good for the country. Bobby Kennedy, not good. I mean, even Reagan, when he got shot, not good for the country for a little while. And I would say to people, think this through before you get what you want, because if you continue to do that, I think you're going to stoke even more anger from the people who you're always calling names. Those people are going to get tired of being called names, and eventually some of those people are probably going to start reacting where they were saying, I want to take the high road, I don't want this to happen, but I'm going to start sticking up for what I believe in. And I think there's a little bit of that in every single one of us, no matter what our political bent is. So, Tulsi Gabbard, full steam ahead. I think if you're a Bernie supporter and you didn't really enjoy a little hypocrisy there, because it was, and especially when he came out and said, well, if they don't like it, they can leave. That sounds a little like Donald Trump, doesn't it? If they don't like it, they can leave. I know it's two different things, but sounds similar. I don't know if we should have two old, angry white guys fighting it out for the presidency. I think we can do better than that, and we should, including third parties and better candidates. All right, I'm done. See you soon.